Deep in the arid heart of the Sinai Peninsula, a lone mountain stood, its rugged peaks piercing the clear blue sky. This was a place where the silence was profound, broken only by the whispering winds that swept across the barren landscape. Mount Horeb, a place of stark beauty and desolate grandeur, stood as a silent sentinel over the desert. Its rocky slopes and craggy cliffs told tales of ancient times, of a land that had seen the passage of countless generations. It was here, amidst the silence of the desert, that a shepherd named Moses had an encounter that would change the course of history. Moses, a humble man tending his flock, was drawn to this mountain by a force he could not explain. He saw a sight that defied explanation, a sight that would forever be etched in the annals of human experience. As he approached, his heart pounded with a mix of fear and awe. A bush engulfed in flames, yet not consumed. The fire burned brightly, its flames reaching towards the heavens. But the bush itself remained unscathed. The flames danced and flickered, their glow illuminating the surrounding rocks. The light cast eerie shadows, creating a scene both mesmerizing and terrifying. Yet the bush itself remained untouched, unharmed by the inferno that raged within it. The leaves were green and vibrant, untouched by the searing heat. This was no ordinary fire, it was a phenomenon that transcended the natural world, a mystery that beckoned Moses closer. This was a manifestation of something far greater, something beyond the realm of human understanding. It was a moment where the divine intersected with the mortal, where the heavens touched the earth. It was a glimpse into the divine, a beacon from the heavens, calling out to a solitary man. In that moment, Moses knew he was in the presence of something holy, something that would change his life and the lives of countless others forever. Moses approached the burning bush, drawn by both curiosity and trepidation. As he drew closer, a voice boomed out from the heart of the flames. It was a voice of power and authority, yet strangely calming, a voice that commanded attention and inspired awe. The voice identified itself as Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Moses, overcome by the presence of the divine, hid his face, afraid to look upon the glory of God. For centuries his ancestors had worshipped this God, the God who had made a covenant with Abraham, promising him descendants as numerous as the stars. Now Moses found himself face to face with this God, the God of his forefathers, speaking to him from the midst of a burning bush. God spoke to Moses of his chosen people, the Israelites, who were suffering under the cruel oppression of the Egyptians. He had seen their misery, heard their cries, and knew their pain. He had chosen Moses for a special mission, a mission of immense importance and daunting responsibility. Moses was to confront Pharaoh, the mighty ruler of Egypt, and demand the release of the Israelites. Moses, though taken aback, was also hesitant. He was, after all, a simple shepherd, a man of quiet contemplation, not a warrior or a leader of armies. He questioned his own abilities. "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" he asked. His voice trembled with a mixture of fear and disbelief. Reassured by God's promise of guidance and support, Moses embarked on his momentous mission. He confronted Pharaoh, demanding the release of the Israelites. Pharaoh, arrogant and dismissive, refused. In response, God unleashed a series of plagues upon Egypt, each more devastating than the last. The Nile turned to blood, swarms of locusts devoured the land, and boils afflicted the Egyptians. Finally, after the 10th and most terrifying plague, the death of the firstborn, Pharaoh relented. He allowed the Israelites to leave Egypt, their departure marking the beginning of the Exodus, a journey that would test their faith and shape their destiny. Moses, guided by God, led them towards the Promised Land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Section 5. Wandering in the wilderness, a test of faith. Their journey was not easy. The scorching sun beat down on them relentlessly, and the nights brought a biting cold that chilled them to the bone. The Israelites faced numerous challenges and hardships as they wandered through the unforgiving wilderness. Each day was a test of their endurance and resilience. They endured hunger, thirst, and exhaustion, The lack of food and water made every step a struggle, and their bodies grew weak from the constant strain. They grumbled against Moses, questioning his leadership and longing for the comforts of Egypt. The memories of their past life, though filled with hardship, seemed preferable to their current suffering. Their faith was tested time and again. Doubts crept into their minds, and they wondered if they had been led astray. Yet, through it all, God remained faithful. His presence was a constant source of comfort and hope, guiding them through the darkest times. He provided food from heaven in the form of manna. This miraculous sustenance appeared each morning, a testament to his unwavering care. He brought forth water from a rock. In their moments of greatest need, he ensured they had the resources to survive. He protected them from their enemies. Despite the dangers that lurked in the wilderness, they were shielded from harm. He led them step by step towards the promised land. Each day brought them closer to their destination, a land flowing with milk and honey. The 40 years in the wilderness, though fraught with difficulties, served as a period of purification and spiritual growth, forging the Israelites into a nation bound by a shared history and a common faith. It was a time of learning, of understanding their dependence on God, and of becoming a people ready to embrace their destiny. Section 6. The Covenant, a promise forged in stone. It was during their time in the wilderness that God revealed his laws to Moses, laws that would become the foundation of their society and their faith. These laws were not just rules, but a divine guide to living a life in harmony with God's will. These laws were designed to guide the Israelites in their relationship with him and with each other, fostering a community built on mutual respect, justice, and compassion. These laws, known as the Ten Commandments, were more than just a set of rules. They were a sacred covenant. They were inscribed on 2 stone tablets, symbolizing the permanence and unchanging nature of God's word. These tablets represented God's covenant with his chosen people, a promise that was both profound and enduring. This covenant, sealed at the foot of Mount Sinai, was a momentous event in the history of the Israelites. It was a solemn agreement, a binding promise between God and the Israelites, one that required their unwavering faith and obedience. It was a promise of blessings in return for obedience, a divine assurance that would guide them through their trials and tribulations. This promise would shape the moral and spiritual landscape of the world for millennia to come, influencing countless generations. The Ten Commandments, with their emphasis on justice, compassion, and reverence for God, became a universal code of ethics. They would become the cornerstone of Judeo-Christian ethics, a moral compass that guided the faithful. Influencing legal systems and inspiring social reformers throughout history, the Ten Commandments continue to resonate, reminding us of the enduring power of a promise forged in stone. Section 7. The Ten Commandments, a legacy of morality. The Ten Commandments, a timeless code of conduct, address the most fundamental aspects of human behavior. They prohibited idolatry, blasphemy, murder, adultery, theft, and lying. They emphasized the importance of honoring one's parents and respecting the sanctity of life and property. These commandments were not arbitrary rules imposed by a capricious deity. They were, rather, expressions of God's love for his creation, guidelines intended to promote harmony, justice, and righteousness. By adhering to these commandments, the Israelites would not only demonstrate their obedience to God, but also cultivate a just and compassionate society. Section 8. An enduring legacy. Moses' impact on history and faith. Moses, though initially hesitant, rose to the challenge of his divine calling. He led his people out of slavery, received God's law, and laid the foundation for a nation. His life and legacy continue to inspire and challenge people of faith today. Moses' story is a testament to the power of faith, the importance of perseverance, and the enduring legacy of the Ten Commandments. His encounter with God at the burning bush reminds us that God can work through ordinary individuals to accomplish extraordinary things. Section 9. Reflections on the burning bush. A timeless message. The burning bush serves as a powerful symbol of God's presence and power. It reminds us that God is present in the midst of our own lives, even in the most unexpected of places. It challenges us to listen for his voice, to be open to his call, and to trust in his guidance, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. The story of Moses and the burning bush is a story of courage, faith, and transformation. It is a story that continues to resonate with people of all faiths and backgrounds, reminding us that God is still at work in the world, calling us to lives of purpose, service, and unwavering belief.